news. We're under all kinds of flood warnings for all of the rivers now on the North Shore. Flood warnings have been issued, and that's even if we don't get any more rain. So you're going to have to keep up on the rivers because they're all going to crest above flood stage during the next 2 days. And remember, those smaller rivers rise very quickly and then fall very quickly. The bigger rivers like the Pearl, they don't come up as fast and they don't go down as quickly either. So good news from the weather standpoint. I do see improving conditions today. I even think we may see some sunshine, and hopefully that'll help start the drying process. But again, we've had over a foot of rain, in some spots as much as 20 inches, and I believe that's an all-time record one-day rain total.
How widespread were the 20-inch totals? Is that an isolated incident where we happen to have been in the real thick of it, or are there a lot of places with 18, 19, 20 inches?
I think there are a lot of places with 15, 16, 17 inches. I think the 19 and 20 inches are isolated, but I think, John, we have to go back to almost the amount isn't the key, it's the intensity, the rate that it came down, and it was so much came down in so little time. That was the key here. It just overwhelmed the pumping stations.
All right, Bob.
Okay, Bob. Spoke on the phone with my sister, who lives at the back of the Greenleaves subdivision in Mandeville, and we were talking with George Ryan, who was at the very front of the subdivision. Greenleaves goes probably a mile or so.
Oh, maybe 3 miles.
Yeah, more than that.
Quite a ways.
Really far back. The entrance to the subdivision is flooded. George wasn't sure how the subdivision itself was, and my sister's telling me that the houses in the back are not flooded. That there's water in the backyards, but not in the street. So apparently there may be a dip right there in the beginning of the subdivision, too severe to get an ambulance through there for the man who had the heart attack, but the flooding does not appear to be very severe toward the back of the subdivision, and that's good news because there are very many homes back there that would be badly damaged by water.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that they have had in the past some high water in that general area near the entrance, so I think that's at least part of their problem.
Mm-hmm. Here's Tulane Avenue again, looking as bleak as ever. This looks like maybe just before daybreak, when there's really a good bit of water in the street. And John, do you remember during the night we were seeing the water moving really rapidly across Tulane Avenue, and here it just doesn't look like it's moving all that much.
Now these
are certainly not rushing through as it was earlier.
No, and it was like a torrent. It was like a river in some places a little bit earlier. Lake Tulane, my photographer called it, as we tried to navigate, and believe me, it was not easy getting around in there. If I'm not mistaken, I thought someone had told me that we had an updated list of school closings. Was I right about that? I guess I wasn't right about that, Margaret. But we'll have that for you coming along soon, and we'll try to recap where things are.
What we can tell you is just about everything is closed except Southeastern and Hammond. They are open with the caution that if it's dangerous for you to get to classes at Southeastern, you shouldn't try it.
Dan, let's see if we can bring some comfort or some encouragement to the people out there. Is the rain going to hold off for any foreseeable future time?
The rain is continuing to diminish. You watch the time lapse. This is about 4 hours worth of rain echoes on the radar. And the best news, of course, is that all that heavy rain that was over St. Tammany Parish for so long, between, say, 3 in the morning and 6 in the morning, has really diminished a lot, as you can see. But there are still large areas of light rain from southern St. Tammany across Lake Pontchartrain, stretching back into St. Charles Parish, and you may see some of that over in Jefferson Parish. A little more rain there. See some rain over in St. Bernard Parish. It's crossed Plaquemine Parish and is now dotting Plaquemine. So the rain isn't over, but it's a lot less. I mean a lot less rain. So while this may be bothersome, this will not. The rain that you see on the radar now is not going to pose a great threat of increased flooding. The problem with the water in the streets, of course, is that it's not going to go down significantly until all the land has drained water down into the streets, and that same water drains into the canals and into some areas